Previously on the High Risk Wrestling Podcast. We won't even, do we really need to dive into the whole NWO thing? That's a story unto itself. And the fact that nobody wanted to pay for Thunder, think about that. Think about that in today's day and age, that somebody says, I want a second show, but I don't want to pay. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everybody. It is Sunday, June 28th, June 18th, not the 28th. And you know what that means. It is time for the High Risk Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, doing it for my brother, because we both out. Jeremy Pierce, welcome one. And as always, I appreciate you all listening. And just for a further reminder, the High Risk Wrestling Recap will go live this Sunday. And again, that'll cover the news, Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite, Ring of Honor, Impact, Collision, Rampage. Yeah. And that'll be every Sunday, whereas the High Risk Wrestling Podcast will be every Saturday. You know, we move things around depending on what shows we have and what's going on. But as always, you know, you can check out the socials on Charismatic Creations on Facebook and YouTube, Charismatic_Creations 52 on Instagram, the 215 on Twitter, and always Coffee, Patreon. Appreciations, donations are very, very appreciative and accepted. In today's show, well, we're going to review Collision. Last night we had the debut of Collision. How was it? The announce team, the theme, the stage, all of that. But for now, you know what's next, so just go on and hit my music. All right, folks, let's just dive right into the news. What do we have for you on this week? Well, AEW has a new signing. They have signed former NXT wrestler EJ Ndoka. This was somebody that's been on the radar for a long time, and he's kind of been floating back and forth on where he would go. He's also part of MITB. I expect big things for him. AEW finally got a UK TV deal for Collision. They will be airing on Fight, and that's where Dynamite and Rampage also airs. They'll also be airing on ITV4. Gotta have AEW, one of your biggest markets. The motion filed to delay. There's been a motion filed to delay the Ted DiBiase Jr. trial, as you may be unaware. Ted DiBiase is part of that, the welfare scandal case is going on. Part of it is with Brett Favre. It's weird. It's a tough situation. We'll see how things play out. Jimmy Jacobs has signed with AEW. He'll be working backstage and will be a part of the creative team. Remember, he was a part of WWE. He was a part of Impact Wrestling. He'll be a good, really major part of Ring of Honor, a former booker there. This is a good signing, and I like that Tony Khan has expanded the creative team. So now it's him, it's Jimmy Jacobs, it's Bryan Danielson, it's Will Washington. It's good, especially when you have 3 shows to do every single week, and that's not including Ring of Honor. So when did WWE decide to unify the Women's Tag Team Championships, and why did they choose to? Well, essentially when Alba and Isla Dawn got called out, it was like they're going to reunify there, just because NXT, if you look at the NXT women's roster, they have a lot of young, kind of inexperienced talent. If you look at the NXT women's roster, let me head over there. The only true veterans that you can count on, that you can wholeheartedly depend on, few and far between. You got Blair Davenport. You've got, I guess you'd include Gigi in there because she's been around for a minute. Who else? Mako even still there. Mako said to me about the legend, but she's not really there anymore. Wendy Chu, and even though she's young, she's clearly, a prodigy. Roxanne Perez. So the division can't hold up a women's tag team division. So unifying the belts and getting them back to what they originally were would definitely be a major benefit, I think, to the entire women's tag team division. Now, another lawsuit. MLW WWE denied the request to dismiss the lawsuit, so their request got denied, and MLW is going to continue forward. Remember, this all stemmed from MLW claiming that WWE uses influence to prevent MLW from securing a television deal with a major network, impeding their growth and violating antitrust laws. And I can wholeheartedly believe this. With Vince McMahon in charge, nothing should come as a shock. You know what I mean? WWE has brought back Payback. It will be in Pittsburgh this September, taking place. Is there dates yet? I don't think we have a date. There's no date yet, but tickets will go on sale next week. And lastly, of course, we have to talk about CM Punk. There was an interview coming out on ESPN, and there was a lot of things said. And if you go back and read it, Punk pretty much just told the line, mixing real life plus storyline. So he admits that the brawl out was a bad thing. He doesn't apologize. He doesn't really apologize for it, but he knows he was in the wrong. He apologized to Tony Khan for putting him in a bad position. He denies trying to get Colt Cabana fired from AEW. He feels his problems with the Elite started when Hangman went into business with himself, with that promo, if you remember. So that's where, things kind of got out of hand. And, it's 50-50 here, because Punk is definitely in the wrong. He was definitely in the wrong. But I get some of the things he came up and said. We'll see how this works out moving forward. The AEW talent expected the interview to be much worse. It was not. Punk knows the wrestling business. Chris Hero, you know him from Ring of Honor. If you know from NXT, that's Cassius Ohno. He has a backstage role during Collision last night, and he was producing matches for Ring of Honor. He was on the headset for the Ring of Honor matches. They taped Ring of Honor matches after Collision last night. On the injury side of things, the Bunny, who had hurt her orbital, she is working on her way back, and she should be back hopefully soon. I'm a fan of the Bunny. Parker Bordeaux and Trench, not formerly, but they might still be part of the Mogul affiliates. They're both out with injuries, which makes sense. And they recovered very well, moving the Mogul affiliates to the Mogul embassy. Bandido broke his wrist last night on Collision, so we'll see how that goes. He should be out for maybe a month or two, maybe just a little bit longer than that. On the ratings side of things, WWE Raw suffered greatly because of the NBA Finals. This past Monday, they did a 1.59 with a 0.46 and the 18-49 demo. That is down from the previous week in both the viewership and the demographic. Dynamite this past week pulled in 832,000 viewers with I don't have anything for the demo, but the viewership is down from the previous week, and SmackDown pulled in 2.2 million viewers with a 0.6 in the 18 to 49 demo. That is up in the demo, and I'm expecting the numbers to just climb and steady out, maybe around 2.3 or 2.4, because SmackDown is just good. It's just good viewing. But that's the news, and we shall be right back. We are building towards Money in the Bank. The men's match is set. The women have one spot up for grabs. Let's dive into the week that was. I might call that segment. I might call this that. I might do that. Anyway. Monday Night Raw. We're building towards Money in the Bank. So we open the show with Adam Pearce giving Rhea Ripley the new Women's World Championship, but essentially it's Seth's belts, the WWE, the World Heavyweight Championship, but on a white strap. The white signifies women. This is all well and good. We got rid of the branding for each belt, Raw and SmackDown. But the only thing I really don't like is the red carpet was rolled out for Seth and Roman with Triple H giving them new championships, but the women just get it from Adam Pearce in a so-so segment. But I digress. Cody confronts Dom and challenges him to a match, which Rhea accepts. The Miz tries to jump Cody and fails, and Cody defeats The Miz. Dom had a really great line that says, behind every great woman there's a great man, with him hiding behind Rhea. It's just so good. The heat this kid gets is just amazing. Becky Lynch wants Zoe Stark. It talks about ego and says the one thing she hates that she hasn't done yet is with Money in the Bank. Zoe comes out and tells Becky to look into a mirror and that she's only famous probably because she got her nose broken, so she's going to break her face. Becky then goes on to defeat Chelsea Green. The Judgment Day are concerned about Finn. Damian defeats Matt Riddle to qualify for the Money in the Bank ladder match, with Imperium attacking Matt Riddle after the match. So we're just continuing the Gunther Matt Riddle feud for the Intercontinental Championship. Natalya says that she will be a different person. Imperium then challenges KO and Sami for the tag team titles for later in the evening. This was all in the same segment. Shinsuke Nakamura caused a DQ between Ricochet and Bronson Reed during their match, and now Shinsuke and Ricochet got a little bit of beef. They double team Bronson Reed though. Ricochet wants Bronson Reed again, but Shinsuke's got next. Finn Balor calls back on his history with Seth and wants a match for the World Heavyweight Championship. This was an in-ring segment between Seth and Finn, and the crowd would not stop singing Seth's song, and Finn was clearly agitated. Shayna Baszler defeated Raquel Rodriguez. Chad Gable defeated Eric of the Viking Raiders. Maxine hit an arm drag on Valhalla. She learned that from Chad Gable. Finn is talking backstage with JD McDonough, so we're teasing a new member of the Judgment Day still going on. Finn asks Damian if he'd ever cash in on him, which Damian says no. And then KO and Sami retain the tag team championships in the main event against Imperium. Over on Dynamite, we got our Forbidden Door building up. Steam is just picking up. So the opening contest was Adam Cole versus MJF in a World Championship Eliminator match. If Adam Cole won, he would get a title shot against MJF, and they went to a 30-minute draw, and MJF denied Adam Cole more time. You had 30 minutes, Cole. You didn't get the job done. It's that simple. We had a Punk Stinger for Collision, saying, he's got a mic. Let's see what he's going to say. We had teasing of a Sammy Guevara face turn. He was in the ring being interviewed. Then Darby Allin came out to kind of assist and push that narrative forward. Jericho wants him to stay in line, stay in his place, and Sting steps in, and we got a nice little conversation between Jericho and Sting. Surprisingly, this has never happened before, and it feels like a big deal. So I'm looking forward to that. Sonata issues an open challenge for Forbidden Door. and he'll put the New Japan World Heavyweight Championship on the line, which is accepted by Jungle Boy. Sting, Darby Allin, Keith, and Orange Cassidy defeated the Mogul Embassy. The Guns challenged the Hardys. Wardlow retained the TNT Championship against Jake Hager. And then after the match, we see backstage that Christian and Luchasaurus had attacked Arn Anderson. Tanahashi versus MJF will happen at Forbidden Door for MJF's World Championship. But MJF says he won't show up. Zack Sabre Jr., Danny Garcia confront Orange Cassidy. And Garcia wants the Pure Championship back, the Ring of Honor Pure Championship. And Zack Sabre Jr. wants the International Championship. So we'll see what happens. But next week, it'll be Zack Sabre Jr. and Danny Garcia taking on Katsuyori Shibata and Orange Cassidy. That's going to be a great match. Toni Storm retained the Women's Championship against Sky Blue. This was a fun little match. Sky Blue's star power continues to grow and grow and grow. Willow Nightingale makes the save. After the match, we have a tag team match set up for Collision between these 4 women. And in the main event, the Hung Bucks defeated the Blackpool Combat Club in just a fun match. And then all hell breaks loose after the match. So after the match is over, right? After the match is over, Takeshita comes out with Don Callis. He starts attacking everybody. And then Kenny Omega comes out. No. Takeshita is attacking, and then what's his name? Eddie Kingston returns to save his boys. And he stops because he wants Cesaro. You know they got beef, but he doesn't attack John Moxley because they boys. Then he stops the Bucks from attacking Moxley. The Takeshita gets attacked by Kenny Omega, and the Kenny Omega gets attacked by Will Ospreay. Bro, nuts. It was almost as close to that. Remember that famous SmackDown segment where it was the Alliance versus the WWF? It was like Big Show, Rock, Stone Cold, Kane, Booker T, Shane McMahon, RVD. It's a classic segment. Over on Impact, we celebrate Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin winning championships at Against All Odds. Just great. So we open up with celebrating them two. They're in the ring. And then Nick Aldis, who had won the 8-4-1 match, calls his shot and gets him. Then we had a promo parade with Trey Miguel, Giselle Shaw, Trinity, Kenny King, Deonna Purrazzo. So Santino makes a 5-on-5 intergender tag team match for later on in the evening. That'll be the main event. And I like that it's normalized and Impact that the women and men will fight each other, because we can just go back to Jordan Grace and Macadona just beating the holy hell out of each other. The design points fingers to about their loss, and Al Angel's like, yo, I left the group to not deal with this, so what's up? Rich Swann defeated Moose. We had an interview about Heath's journey. Bully Ray files a complaint against Scott D'Amore, and Scott says he will take a leave of absence. Before he does, he made a match. What happened at the pay-per-view? It'll be he and PCO versus Bully Ray and Steve Macklin at Slammiversary. Chris Bay and Ace Austin defeated the Decay. The Motor City Machine Guns showed them some respect, because they're like, yo, the tag team division is in good hands. And the main event, the Motor City Machine Guns, Nick Aldis, Trinity, and Deonna Purrazzo defeated Trey Miguel, Kenny King, Sheldon Jean, Giselle Shaw, and Savannah Evans. This was a really talk-heavy episode of Impact, but they do these ones sometime to kind of reset things, and I'm perfectly fine with that. Over on Ring of Honor, we had a lot of matches, but the important ones are Samoa Joe retaining the TV Championship over Matt Sydal. Nick Comoroto finally picking up a ring. We got a Diamante appearance, and she should definitely be doing more. Miranda Elise versus Notorious Mimi. The Righteous and Stu Grayson defeated Dalton Castle and the boys. And the Dark Order says there'll be a little bit more serious and dangerous. That's what was going to take to get Stu Grayson back. Athena defeated Trish Adora, and then her and Kiera Hogan brought after that. Mark Briscoe got a W, Dave Garcia got a W, Sky Blue got a W, and she didn't really need to be on the show. She could have been taken out of the show to give some more matches, some more time. Because think about it, she wrestled on Rampage last week, she wrestled on Dynamite, Ring of Honor, and now Collision. So, I mean, they're grown. Love me some Sky Blue. The Mogul MSC defeated Action Andretti, Darius Martin, and AR Fox, retaining the 6-man tag champions. Over on SmackDown, well, it happened, and SmackDown gets 2 thumbs up because you know why it gets 2 thumbs up. So our opening match, well, first we started with the Bloodline recap, but the opening match was a gauntlet match to determine the number 1 contenders for the tag team championships. So we started off with the Brawling Brutes, who had defeated the Street Profits. Then they defeated the OC. Then they defeated the LWO. Then they completely squashed Hit Row. And I think Hit Row might have some heat. And then Pretty Deadly defeated the Brawling Brutes without cheating. They didn't cheat to win. They used maybe some nefarious tactics, but they didn't cheat. Roman Reigns Pretty Deadly keeps celebrating in the ring before KO and Sami shut them up and take them out. Roman Reigns tells Paul Heyman to get Jay's answer. Bayley accidentally caused Io to lose her match to Zelina, and Io is really getting tired of Bayley's stuff. Io accepts Shotzi's challenge on Bayley's behalf, so if Shotzi defeats Bayley, then Shotzi will replace Bayley in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Bianca tells Adam Pearce that she'll handle Charlotte because she's going to do it her way now because she did it the right way, and Charlotte just got to jump the line. So we have the Grayson Waller effect with Charlotte and with Charlotte and Grayson Waller, and blah, blah, blah. Charlotte says Charlotte things. Bianca comes out and just lays things quite proper for Charlotte. So this is going to be our next major feud, and I hope Asuka doesn't get overlooked in all of this. Jay dismisses Paul Heyman yet again. Karrion Kross and Scarlett defeated AJ and Michin. Roman Reigns isn't happy with the Paul Heyman news, and he holds Solo back from interfering. Santos Escobar defeated LA Knight, and in the main event segment, let me just break this down for you real quick, white, proper, lay it all flat for you. Roman's out, then Jay comes out. Roman wants an answer. Jay tells Roman that if he's in, Paul Heyman's out. Roman says, listen, it's all true. We were grooming you from the start to replace me when all things are all said and done, to be the new tribal chief. Jimmy comes out and says, yo, Roman's still the issue. And then Roman's like, yo, when I made you the right-hand man, when I made you main event Jey Uso, you know who had a problem with it? Your brother. And then Jay goes off on Jimmy. You know, you were the golden child and Mr. Popularity and most likely to succeed, and you didn't believe in me, and I expected from Roman, you my brother. And he tells Jimmy that I'm main event Jey Uso, I'm the right-hand man, so guess what? You out. Roman laughs, a big pause, and then Jay says, and I'm out too, and super kicks Roman. Heyman is shocked. Solo can't believe it. He goes to attack Jimmy. He gets a super kick. Then they both super kick Solo. Roman gets up like, you don't leave me. You don't quit me. And then they super kick Roman. And SmackDown ends with the Usos putting the ones up and Roman laying down on the mat. Bro. This is wrestling right here, man. This is wrestling. I tell you, it's great stuff. Over on Rampage, the United Empire defeated Chaos. I expected this because Will Ospreay has a really big match at Forbidden Door. Taya Valkyrie defeats Trish Adora. The Hardys are ready for the guns. Mark and Papa Briscoe and R.B. Edwards defeated Jay Lethal, Jeff and Karen Jarrett. This was a fun match. I expected nothing more from this. Taya wants a TBS championship match, and Chris accepts. And in the main event, Konosuke Takeshita defeated Bandido in a fantastic match. And our matches of the week, ladies and gentlemen. So, from Raw, the WWE Undisputed Tag Team Championship match, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn taking on Imperium. And I love the way Samantha Irvin announces Imperium. She's like, Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci. It's so great. From Dynamite, Adam Cole versus MJF in that world title eliminator match. I wish MJF wrestled more on TV, man. At least 2 matches a month. Just 2 matches a month, because the boy is good. Also from Dynamite, the Hung Bucks, Hangman Page, and the Young Bucks taking on the Blackpool Combat Club from Rampage. Konosuke, Takeshita versus Bandido. And you know when a match like this gets announced, you know it's going to be good. And it was good. And from Collision, Andrade, El Idolo versus Buddy Matthews, our star of the week. This is a rare thing for me to do. I'm going to give it to the entire production of AEW Collision because it was a good show. Looked great, felt great, and it got off to a really, really good start. And we're going to dive in that more into our top story. But for now, we'll be right back. So, we have arrived. It has happened. Gone down last night. The debut episode of AEW Collision. And you know, last week we had our WCW Thunder retrospective, the highs, the lows, everything in between, which was all leading and building up to this last night. So, we're gonna really take a deep dive, take a real true look at Collision from last night. And the first news that we got from Collision was the announce team. So the announce team will consist of Kevin Kelly, Nigel McGuinness, and for the main events, good old JR. And I get the reasoning behind having JR. Makes it feel big. And you know, the quality has waned over the years, but when he's up and at it and giving it his all, there's nobody better. So the announce team is fine. I understand Nigel McGuinness, you have him. I'm more so shocked that he got Kevin Kelly. Caught me off guard because you know he is the New Japan guy, and you're not going to get the Ring of Honor guys, Caprice and Ian Riccaboni. So I actually would have gone with. We're going to use Nigel McGuinness. I would have used Big Show or Mark Henry. Actually, I feel like they could be doing more in AEW. I mean, you know, I don't know what exactly that, you know, some of their duties are, but they both have been fine on commentary, and you can really get a good comedic team seriousness. But the current team, Kevin Kelly, Nigel McGuinness, they were good last night. I haven't caught much of Kevin Kelly for his New Japan stuff, but from what I've heard, from the things that I have heard when I watch some of the New Japan shows, he's good. And Nigel McGuinness, you know, Ring of Honor, Impact, and now coming off of a stint in NXT where he was great. I'm fine with this team. I think they'll do well. I wouldn't be opposed to them mixing it up every now and then. These two teams, but the announce team was good. They were great. Being a little hyperbolic here, but they were fine. The theme song was very important. What would they use? You know, Rampage and Dynamite have their own unique theme songs, and you know, Tony Khan spends money. I mean, he got Jane for Orange Cassidy. Jungle Boy's theme song was a Tarzan. So what would the theme be for AEW Collision? They also revealed that right before Collision. And it's Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting by Elton John. No remix, no shakeups, the OG song, and it works. It really, really works well, because Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting. It is. So, it kind of gets you going. I like the intro video accompanying the song, and it's just good. It's just good stuff. So, let's dive into the opening, the premiere of the show. And we have the intro video, and it's got CM Punk, Joe, Wardlow, Willow, Andrade, Buddy Matthews, The Acclaim, Orange Cassidy, House of Black, Bryan Danielson, Ricky Starks, Daniel Garcia, Jay White, Sting, Britt, Darby, Tony, MJF, but no Young Bucks, no Kenny, no Jericho, no Moxley. So immediately gets a thumbs up. Everything's them. Not the last part with no Bucks in them, but we kind of almost get a glimpse of who might be featured on the show a little bit more. So we're introduced to the show with Kevin Kelly. Fans are already chanting CM Punk as we are in Chicago. And Cult of Personality comes on. Punk always gets cheered in Chicago. And it wasn't going to be any different here. He's got a sack hanging around his neck, and he gets to the ring, and he's still getting cheered, right? Low cut, shaved. We've seen this look before. And the first thing he says is, I don't know if you guys heard, but I'm tired of being nice. When was he ever nice? So he talked about his injury. And he's still here. He talked about this is the professional wrestling business, stressing business, and that the business is for grown-ups, and that this has never been a popularity contest. And he knows that he probably would have lost that popularity contest a long, long time ago. He says his past isn't checkered. And again, he's tired of being nice. So tell me when I'm telling lies. So Punk is already being self-indulgent. And he rode this wave growing up on the backs of smart, passionate wrestling fans, and he loves the fans and he loves him. And he has never apologized for being himself, right? And he says he understands that that the sheer magnitude of his presence makes people uncomfortable. That's because he's the truth, and the truth is painful. And chance of fuck the elite pop off. So the leader's not over in Chicago, which, come on, they are. He pointed at a fan sign that says CM Punk is my hero. Pepsi feels CM junk. He said you can cheer him, you can love him, you can hate him, and you can do that because that's your right. He says the king is back, and he's not going to compromise. Why would he change? And he says there are people there who think they are owed an apology. He says it's better to be a bigger man, so he doesn't think he's in the wrong. Tell me when I'm telling lies. He said that multiple times. Tell me when I'm telling lies. He said, last time you saw me, what's in his bag was his, and he held it above his head, alluding to the AEW World Championship. And it's not because he had the best dog collar match, it's because he won the dog collar match. He says it belongs to him, and if someone could pin him or submit him for it, he's not giving it up. So he's essentially calling himself the uncrowned champion. And tell him when he's telling lies. And he leaves, as he gets to the ramp, he says, I'm not here to make stars, that he is the star. So breaking that down, it was fine. It was fine. You're gonna like it, or you're gonna not like it. You're not gonna hate it. You're not gonna love it. He is a star, and he commands the room. So comes off, he's happy to be back, and he's being his forward, brash, unapologetic, charismatic, confident self. And he's not apologizing to anyone, even though he did apologize to Tony Khan. So how do you feel about that? And this didn't come across as building a feud towards the Elite. They're not going to face each other. I think the Elite are above that. We can just move on. So, we get to our first match, and it's Wardlow versus Luchasaurus for the TNT Championship, with Wardlow defending against Christian Cage. And this was a fine match. This was okay. It was big meaty men slapping man meats, but it wasn't the best outing for these two, and I've seen them have better matches. Christian kept interfering, and it got to the point of like, ref, do something. Why are you letting this man keep doing this? And it came down to the end where Wardlow was on the top rope. Something happened, and Christian hit Wardlow with a camera. Ref didn't see it. Luchasaurus clotheslined him from the back. 1, 2, 3. We have a new TNT Championship. But wait, Christian grabs the belt and celebrates like he won the championship, celebrating like he's the star. Well, Luchasaurus is the championship. So I can understand why we did this title change here. It's the first show. You need something big to happen. But it seems like Wardlow can never just quite get off the ground with his TNT Championship reigns. So we'll see what happens. I think Wardlow should move on to different things. Maybe be in the Owen Hart Cup. Speaking of the Owen Hart Cup, Lexi Near's interviewing QT Marshall, Powerhouse Hobbs. QT says, he and Hobbs never said they were going to compete. They just said they were going to be there. And Hobbs says there's a new chapter in the book of Hobbs, and he wants to win the Owen Hart tournament. He will be the face of TNT, and now the book of Hobbs is all about redemption and winning the Owen Hart Cup. I'm fine with that. Let's start announcing the competitors soon on the men's and women's side. But right now, I would like Hobbs to win. Powerhouse. Our second match, Andrade El Idolo versus Buddy Matthews. And ladies and gentlemen, these two put on a fine match. And like both of these dudes were injured, so the match was kind of built around them, showing that they aren't injured anymore and that they put on a show. These two rarely got a chance to really show what they're capable of in the WWE. They, there's some quality matches here and there, but they will definitely get a big spotlight in AEW. And these two put on a really fine match, much to the point that the fans were chanting, "This is awesome." And this is not hyperbolic. It was an awesome match. Andrade made Buddy Matthews tap out to the figure 8, wink, nudge. And this was really good. Then the lights go out after the match. Fans are chanting, "This is stupid. Just stop." Wrestling uses the lights out gimmick a lot. Lights come back on, and the House of Black are all in the ring, and Andrade knows what's up, and he gets put down by Brody King. So now it's time to see where we go from here, because the House of Black need new challenges, and right now Andrade has nobody. There's no Hardy family office anymore. He's not with Ignorables de Faction, or Faction de Ignorables. So we'll see. We got a return promo. Not promo, but a vignette for Scorpio Sky. Will be returning soon, since he's been watching. He's been waiting for the perfect opportunity to return, and he's the present and the future of AEW. Nobody can beat him, and he's on another level. And I'm for this. Give me more Scorpio Sky. I need this. I really need this. First ever AEW World Tag Team Champion, former TNT Champion. Scorpio Sky can be the future, for sure. So we're back from a break, right? And we got Tony Nese, Smart Mark Sterling in the ring. And Nese does his heel gimmick. because he's the premier athlete. He's everybody's fat. He's going to work out, and that's what we're going to do until the Redeemer, Miro, finally returns. And you knew how this was going to go. And he's got some work in, got a couple licks in, but it was never in doubt. Miro wins. Game over. Next up, Toni Storm, Ruby Soho, and Willow Nightingale taking on Toni Storm and Ruby Soho taking on Willow Nightingale and Sky Blue. And also, once again, the winner was never in doubt just because of what transpired on Dynamite Wednesday. And I am so happy for Willow and Sky just to see them grow, get the spotlight, and really get to show what they're capable of. Remember, Tony's the current AEW Women's Champion, and Willow Nightingale is the current New Japan Strong Women's Champion. So we got two champions in this match. Don't forget to check out the Forbidden Door list video of who I would like to see at Forbidden Door. Go check that out. But this was fine. This went about 8 minutes, and Sky Blue's mom was in the front row, and she was there for Dynamite as well. And we got a little bit of miscommunication here with the spray paint allowing Willow and Sky Blue to get the W. This was fine. This was fine. I think they got the death spot that the women have always gotten in AEW. So, the women have never opened up a show on Dynamite. I would like for that to change, but this was cool. The star Blue and Nightingale continue to rise. We got a video package for Jeff Jarrett talking about we'll get the concession stand brawl, him versus Mark Briscoe. That'll happen on Dynamite, and then we get the Acclaimed, and the Ring and Acclaimed does the Acclaimed things. And this was just to reiterate that they are going for the Trios Championship, and they're not going to stop. We got Dynamite Forbidden Door matches announced, and then the main event goes on about at 9:30, and it is Jay White, Juice Robinson representing Bullet Club Gold taking on Samoa Joe, and teaming up with Samoa Joe taking on CM Punk and FTR. And there's a lot of history here, especially between CM Punk and Samoa Joe. Jay and Juice are feuding with FTR right now, so this match was very apropos for what was going down, and this was a fine match. You were always going to look at Punk and to see if he had any ring rust, being gone for 9 months, being gone for that long. You're clearly going to have some ring rust. So, how did he look? He looked fine. He's a veteran in his business, and he did well. The match was long without being great. I don't think it needed to go on at 9:30. This joint could have went on at 9:45, 9:40. We could have extended maybe the women's tag match. Even got maybe like another squash on here. But this match didn't need to be as long as it was. And it felt like they were stretching things out just because they had to, and that doesn't work. But it was a fine match. CM Punk and FTR, when they do work well together, and it was fine. It was fine. Joe and Punk have history together. I would very much like to see maybe Joe and Punk TV title, but Punk's clearly going for the AEW World Championship again, which is okay. But as for the overall of Collision, it was a good show. The stage, which I forgot to talk about, looks amazing. It looks so good. I'm glad that AEW revamped the Dynamite stage, and then the Collision stage looks good. It's really nice. And I like the aesthetic where, again, we're hinting at the old WCW aesthetic when it comes to Collision. But as overall for the show, I'm gonna give it a thumbs up. It was a good show. Having the right crowd there also helps, and Punk is back. We'll see what happens. Will he be on Dynamite? I mean, he'll appear on Dynamite at some point. We'll just have to see when. But let me know what you guys think. AEW Collision is now in the books. The very first show of Collision ever in the books with a major title change. Next week, we'll be looking at the Forbidden Door show, having our preview for the show. Don't forget to check out the Forbidden Door list of who I would like to see on the card or at the show up here. Check out the socials. Charismatic Creations on Facebook and YouTube. Charismatic_Creations 52 on Instagram. The 215 on Twitter. As always, Patreon and Coffee. Donations are greatly accepted and appreciated. And as always, Xia Li, Wendy Chu. Also, can I get Xia Li on my TV? Like, she's just doing nothing. She's just in catering. I'm getting annoyed. But Xia, Wendy, Bailey, Isla, Shotzi, Willow, and Gigi Dolan, holla at your boy. Peace.